Falafalahiyata, good evening and welcome to tonight's Bulletin of BCN News. Leading our news tonight, congratulations Niue. At 3 a.m. this morning, Niue was named as one of the global sustainable top 100 tourism destinations in the world and the only Pacific island to make the top 100 this year. A small celebration brunch was held at the Niue Tourism Office this morning to recognize this achievement for Niue. Acting Director of the Tourism Office, Mrs. Mokalo Foley, said that this is indeed a great achievement for Niue, congratulating everyone for their involvement in the process. She said that Niue's application was a joint effort with the consulting firm TRC, who contributed to the submission. The Niue Tourist Authority Board Chairperson Vanessa Marsh made special mention of the initiatives such as the Dark Skies and the Moana Mahu Marine Conservation Area contributed to Niue being nominated in the top 100 sustainable destinations of the world. The Sustainable Top 100 competition is organized to showcase sustainable tourism stories and good practices of destinations as inspiring examples to others, to tour operators and to travelers. This is the 6th year of the list of Sustainable Destinations Top 100, but this year is the first time the list was unveiled online from Bodrum in Turkey, watched by a small team of Niue tourism officials, including the Minister of Tourism, Premier Tangelangi, at 3 a.m. this morning. Premier Tangelangi was still upbeat about the announcement this morning, toasting the momentous occasion. Niue is the only Pacific island to make the list this year, with New Zealand's Bay of Plenty, along with Australia's Douglas Shire, Lord Howe Island and Townsville. The only other Pacific island to have featured on the top 100 list was the island of Palau last year. The Asian Development Bank has announced a grant funding of $500,000 to Niue to help with the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of Finance Crosley Tatui told BCN News that this funding is earmarked for the health sector. Minister Tatui says that the funding terms provide some flexibility to recover the costs of health equipment already purchased, and the government may use this fund to reimburse for those expenses. The government is given 6 months to utilize the funding. The ADB press release from yesterday announced the total financing of $3.18 million, which comes from ADB's Asia Pacific Disaster Response Fund, with funding from the government of Japan. The funding is divided between Fiji, Nauru, and Niue. Fiji receiving $2 million, $680,000 for Nauru, and Niue receives $500,000. And work on rebuilding and strengthening the wharf has hit a major bump because of the theft of thousands of dollars worth of materials last week. The contractor based underwater contacted the Niue Police Department on Friday last week, reporting the theft of thousands of dollars worth of specialized equipment, which is needed to complete this particular phase of the project before the cyclone season begins next month.
So over a period of time, many items have gone missing from the wharf that belong to Bay Underwater, and those items have all been brought up to Niue on boats and that in order to do the wharf project that's on there to expand the wharf and make it safe from the damage from Cyclone Tino. So what's missing is a bunch of iron rods, like very long iron rods, and then some fittings that have been attached to the wharf. So people are actually going down there and removing the fittings that are specialized fittings for projects like the wharf project and taking them home. So at this point, a lot of the work on the wharf has stopped because of those stolen items.
According to Bays Underwater, they were on schedule to complete this phase as planned. However, the theft of these rods and fittings has compromised their project. They will need these steel rods and inserts for bolts returned so they can continue their work.
At this point, we're aware of the situation, and Rob really just wants the items returned at this point. So if the items are returned, then that's fantastic. If not, then we'll probably proceed with a police investigation at that point to determine who has the items. They're pretty specialized, so it's not going to be very hard to hide them. So it should be fairly easy for us to locate who has them and where they're at. there's cameras at the wharf, that we're trying to access at this point to see if we can determine who took them. But at this point, Bay Underwater needs those items back. They've had to stop work on the wharf project. As you know, we're getting close to cyclone season. So they have a very limited window of time to get this project done for the safety of the wharf, for the safety of the people when they're unloading the containers from the boat, and for the safety of the public in general. And so we need to get that done before cyclone season hits.
Chief of Police Timothy Wilson is urging for the return of these materials to bays underwater at the wharf as soon as possible. If these items are not returned, then the police will continue with the investigation into the theft. The man in the middle of an immigration issue because of his criminal past has left the island. He left on yesterday's flight. The Chief Immigration Officer, Kim Reivaha, confirmed that this individual left voluntarily. BCN understands that his wife and children will remain in Niue. The man was held at the Niue prison when released from quarantine on Sunday afternoon, awaiting the Monday afternoon flight. Sources close to the family say that this family had planned to establish themselves here and that their containers and vehicle arrived on the last boat. And a Niuean father who arrived on yesterday's flight was very distraught that he was charged $500 when he and his son went to get their COVID-19 test done in Auckland last week before coming to Niue. Over the weekend, the father expressed his frustrations on social media, obviously upset at having to pay $500 for the COVID-19 tests and to have this signed off by the doctor. In an email to BCN News, he said that he received an email from the Office of the Secretary to Government from Niue that they needed to get their test completed 4 days before their travel date. BCN News contacted the Acting Secretary to Government, Gayleen Tasmania, about this man's situation, and she said that they are aware of this case. Tasmania said that these tests can be done at any COVID testing station, and the passenger then sends us a copy of the results as soon as they are received, or at the latest by Monday 10 a.m. New Zealand time, so we can further confirm with Air New Zealand that the passenger is cleared to be checked in the next day. These tests can also be done by family doctors. The Minister of Health, Honourable Sauni Tongatule, also said that all incoming passengers need to be reminded of their responsibilities before boarding the flight to Niue. Acting SOG said that all passengers would have been in touch with the office initially when applying to return to Niue, but that they need to keep in regular contact if they have questions. One of the passengers who came out of quarantine on Sunday afternoon told BCN News that she did her tests at a community testing station in Auckland and the results were signed off by their family GP for free. An unfortunate situation for the father and his son, who could have avoided paying this hefty charge had he known to get their tests done at a community testing station. And that's our bulletin for tonight. Join me again tomorrow for our Wangahau Niue bulletin. Until then, good night.